Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. So, if you're a 7th grade learner, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're kind of putting on our detective hats. We're going on a text investigation to figure out exactly how writers build their stories and their articles. Because whether you're reading a thrilling short story or a really fascinating article about space exploration, the author didn't just throw words on a page randomly. They made very specific, incredibly careful choices. And our job today is to uncover the blueprint behind those choices.
But before we get too deep into our investigation, we gotta clear something up. There is this huge misconception out there that fiction is just a bunch of made-up stories with no real substance, and that nonfiction is nothing but a list of boring facts. Let's debunk that right now. Both of these text types are actually incredibly sophisticated. Whether an author is inventing a fictional world or recounting a real historical event, they both have to use careful structure and solid evidence to shape exactly what you, the reader, understand. It's like they're building a house, and they need a really strong foundation to pull it off.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the explainer. 1. Fiction versus nonfiction. 2. The source-based model. 3. Key vocabulary terms. 4. A worked example. And 5. Check your understanding. Section 1. Fiction versus nonfiction. Let's get right into investigating how these two different types of texts actually operate on a mechanical level. So when we're reading fiction, think short stories, our main job is to analyze the plot, track the conflict, watch how characters change, and uncover the theme. But when we flip over to nonfiction, like a biography or an essay, our mission completely changes. Now we're evaluating the author's claims, looking at their reasons, checking their credibility, and analyzing text features. It's a totally different approach. But here is the crucial common ground. Whether you're tracking a character's motivation or summarizing an argument, you absolutely have to cite relevant textual evidence. Evidence is always our main clue. Section 2. The source-based model and how to deconstruct texts. Knowing we need evidence is one thing, but how do we organize it? Enter the source-based model. You can think of these 4 steps as the core building blocks for any solid evidence-based response you're ever going to write. Step 1 is to gather evidence, finding those exact quotes and details. Step 2 is to analyze the structure. How is the author organizing things? Is it cause and effect, chronological? Step 3 is determining the author's purpose, like why did they actually write this? And finally, step 4 is to connect the details, bringing it all together. So you grab a quote, you see the structure is chronological, you figure out the author wants to inform you about a timeline, and boom, you've connected the details. When you stack these together, you aren't just guessing what a text means, you're proving it. Section 3, Key vocabulary terms. Let's open up that detective toolkit and look at 3 terms you absolutely need for this model. First up is theme. When you're reading short fiction, the theme is basically the writer's hidden message. It's that large underlying idea about people and choices that develops throughout the whole story. And authors rarely just hand this to you on a silver platter. You really have to track the plot and the characters to uncover it. Now let's contrast that with our next term, central idea. So if theme belongs to fiction, central idea is the main target we're tracking in nonfiction. This is the primary point or the main claim that an author is trying to establish and support using evidence. It is the absolute core of their entire argument. And our third term is author purpose. This is the specific reason a writer constructs a text to begin with. Maybe they're trying to build credibility, or maybe they want to influence you, the reader. But here is a massive rule for you text detectives. When we summarize the author's purpose, we have to do it purely based on the text. No personal opinions allowed. We only report on what the author's structure and evidence actually tell us. Section 4, a worked example. It's time to put our theoretical model to a practical test. Take a look at this short snippet. The scientists carefully recorded this sudden temperature drop, realizing this single data point proved the entire theory. Read that over and start spotting the clues. What's the evidence? How is it structured? Why did the author write it this way? Now, what's really interesting here is how neatly this little snippet maps directly onto our model. For evidence, we've got the phrase recorded the temperature drop. Moving over to structure, well, what is it? It's totally cause and effect. The sudden data drop directly causes the scientist's realization. And finally, author purpose. Why is this here? It's clearly to build credibility and support the claim that the theory is correct. Notice how we didn't use our own opinions there. We literally just let the text do the talking. Section 5. Check your understanding. All right, investigators, we're in the final phase of today's explainer. Time to test your skills. Here is a direct question for you. When you're using the source-based model on a memoir, which remember is nonfiction, how should you summarize the author's purpose? Take a quick second to think back to the rules of nonfiction analysis we just talked about. Got it? The correct approach is to state the purpose using only text, evidence, and claims. Why? Because a valid summary has to rely entirely on the author's structure and details, keeping your own personal opinion completely out of it. A true text detective doesn't judge a case based on their feelings. They rely strictly on the facts presented in the evidence. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. The next time you sit down to read, whether it's a gripping short story or a heavy biography, ask yourself, how did small story choices reveal large ideas? Because remember, every single word is a choice. Every structure is a blueprint. And with the source-based model, you now have the tools to figure out exactly what those choices mean. Keep reading, keep investigating, and I'll catch you in the next one.